There is no doubt that Leinster will be favourites see off the Scarlets once again in Dublin to become the first side to complete a PRO14 and European double. But don't write off Wayne Pivac's men. History shows that underdogs do bite. In 2012, the Ospreys took on Leinster for the trophy at the RDS Stronghold. Leinster had hammered Ulster in the Heineken Cup final at Twickenham a couple of weeks before we arrived in the Irish capital. They were on a high. They boasted a side containing Irish greats like Brian O'Driscoll, Gordon D'Arcy, Johnny Sexton and Jamie Heaslip, but we managed to upset the odds. For me personally, it was special. My final game in an Ospreys jersey, and the rugby gods were kind. I crossed for 2 tries, including the match winner 3 minutes from time. I remember the game well. It was quite funny because I wasn't meant to figure in these matches. The likes of Eli Walker and these boys were playing, and I was almost being filtered out so these boys could come through and take the reins. It was only because of injury that I ended up playing in that final. So to play and to score a couple of tries, including the one to win, it was a great way to finish my Ospreys career. I loved it. For that late try, I was only a couple of yards from the line, but it felt like 80. I had a bit of a juggle, a dummy, a fend and twist, and I just about managed to get there. I knew it was my last chance of silverware, the Ospreys' last chance to get the win over a very good Leinster side. Of course, it still needed Dan Biggar to land the touchline conversion, but if you want someone to step up in the last minute and slot a kick, it's Dan. He doesn't know the meaning of the word nerves and nailed it as if it was right in front of the posts. We still had a couple of veggie final minutes to see out, but there were great scenes when that final whistle went. It was one of my highlights in an Ospreys jersey. It was a wonderful way to bow out. Samson Lee, Gareth Davies and Steph Evans celebrate the Scarlets' semi-final win in Glasgow. Image, Hugh Evans Picture Agency, is for Saturday's Leinster Scarlets final. Without a doubt, last month's Champions Cup semi-final will be playing on the minds of both sides. Credit to the Scarlets for the manner in which they have picked themselves up after that hammering, a game where they were second best across the park. Sometimes when you are knocked out of Europe, it can take the shine off your season and the campaign can peter out on a bit of a low. But the Scarlets have shown plenty of character to bounce back, and I thought they played very well against Glasgow last weekend, scoring some great tries. They have played some of the best rugby you will see in the PRO14, which says to me they will be confident and will fully believe they can win, despite what happened on their last visit to the Aviva Stadium. If they can move Leinster around and make them uncomfortable, they definitely have the armoury to beat them. Considering the Scarlets have supplied a large chunk of their first-choice lineup to Wales this season and have had a strong European run, it has been a hell of an effort to reach the final again. Sometimes when you have a great season, like the Scarlets did last year, players can become too confident and you lose games you shouldn't. Everyone wants to beat you, but the Scarlets have been a model of consistency. They deserve to be there again. Ospreys players are dejected after being defeated in the Champions Cup playoff in Belfast. A word too on the Ospreys' bitterly disappointing defeat to Ulster in Belfast last weekend. It is a big blow for them. Every side wants to be on Europe's top table and playing Champions Cup rugby, and after the start they had at the Kingspan, the Ospreys will feel they let a big chance slip through their fingers. The Ospreys of old would have won that match with the amount of territory and possession they had. It certainly wasn't the way Dan Biggar would have wanted to say his farewell. Yes, he became the Pro14's all-time record point scorer, which is some achievement, but knowing Dan, that wouldn't have been much consolation. He would have loved to have left the Ospreys, left Swansea, with something positive out of what has been a poor season. He would have been desperate to finish on a high for the fans more than anyone. Dan has been at the Liberty for some time. He is very highly regarded by everyone down there, and it is a shame to see him go. I wish him all the best for his time in Northampton.